Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season. So it is Friday, guys, and we are saying our fond farewells to the Tapu Lele Driblim team that we played the last 2 weeks. So this will be the last episode on the channel that we'll be playing this team. It's a little bit sad, but we've kind of had a good run out with the team. We've had some really great games. We've had some not so good games, but hopefully from the not so good games, we've taken some real lessons away from those games anyway. So that's the most important thing. Before we get started though, guys, I will just say a quick apology. So I suffer like really badly with hay fever, and I seem to have like it's all on my chest at the minute. So if I sound a bit gruff in this episode, then that is why. So I do apologize beforehand. I will try and keep myself hydrated and try and keep things on track as best I can. But another news as well, we've got a team review episode, so I don't think I'm going to have time to do it this weekend for this team in particular, but I will do it for one day next week, hopefully Monday, but it'll probably be Tuesday, Wednesday before we get that up. And I just want to say thanks as well to all you guys that have been throwing your comments down, suggesting teams for the QR code series as well, so it's massively appreciated. So just keep them coming, guys, because we're going to have those regularly every week. And we'll see where it takes us. Obviously, I am working now as well alongside the School of Hard Knocks on a doubles overused, so doubles battle spot team. So we'll be getting into that, playing with megas again. So that'll be a lot of fun, and having a look at that sort of meta game as well, which could potentially be 2018 rules. We don't know yet. But I think it's just a nice sidetrack away from just playing VGC all the time, and it provides you guys with a little bit extra content. So we'll maybe look at doing that a couple of days every week to start with, and we'll see how it goes. If you guys are really enjoying it, then we can increase it from there. But I am working on a team at the minute for that, so hopefully a couple of weeks time we'll start that series as well. But without further ado, guys, let's jump in and say farewell to this team today. Hopefully we get some really good games. So we had a really good game yesterday and not such a good game yesterday. So we want to be finishing above 1700 with this team. I really think that if we kind of put our minds to it, we could push this team high into the 1800s. I think it has the potential to go there. There are a lot of holes in the team, which I'm looking forward to kind of going through on the team review episode, and things that I would definitely change with the team as well that I had originally, and I might change back or just change different sets and things. Like one thing you probably noticed throughout the series is I haven't really used the Snorlax too much, even in Trick Room situations, and I think it's just because the core four that make up this team really work so well, and that is the Tapu Lele, the Arcanine, Celesteela and Garchomp. I think that's a really solid core four in this metagame, and something that I want to try and play around with the further we go in the season. So we'll see what happens with that, but that team review episode will be coming up next week, so it will be very interesting. But guys, we have our first opponent of the day, Oscar, running a team of Tapu Koko, Arcanine, Gigalith, Porygon 2, Kartana and Goodra. So some interesting picks on there, being the Goodra. We've got that common Trick Room core of a threat between the Porygon 2 and the Gigalith. You've obviously got to be very careful of the Kartana Tapu Koko lead that could potentially come out. Of course, there's a lot of issues, and then you've got Arcanine, which is just a solid tech on there with its Intimidate and Fire type attacks. So the Goodra is the one that I need to be careful of, but I don't mind it too much because we have the Tapu Lele that can hit that for really good damage. We have Dragon Claw as well on our Garchomp as well that can take advantage of that. So there are two members of the team that I definitely want to bring. I think I'm going to lead off with that Tapu Lele as we normally do because it's got the taunt there to put a lot of pressure on that Porygon 2. I'm going to lead the Arcanine because as well it's got the Will-O-Wisp, so we can Will-O-Wisp and things like Gigalith if it's led with that Porygon 2, if it can predict a switch in, and the Intimidate in general is going to be really nice for the opposing Arcanine and Kartana. To make up the rest of the team, I think I don't really feel as though I want Snorlax here as well, because like I've said many times before on the channel, when I see Kartana, I'm running Cursed Snorlax, and a lot of the time, you know, if you don't deal with the Kartana early on and it's late game, the Kartana's still around, you can't really get around the Sacred Sword because it ignores the Curse boost. So it's still going to be doing consistently good damage each turn, and we haven't got the techs on Snorlax to be kind of hitting back hard enough to deal with it. So we're going to lead off with the Tapu Lele and the Arcanine, and my opponent is leading off with the Gigalith and the Arcanine. So an interesting lead there for my opponent. He will get the Intimidate off with his Arcanine on to ours first, so indicating his Arcanine is faster than ours. We do get the Intimidate back with our Arcanine, of course, with our non-shiny Arcanine, and summon the Psychic Terrain to the field with our Tapu Lele. So, what are we going to do here? We're not really threatened too heavily from... We're obviously threatened from the Gigalith. It could potentially have Heavy Slam, which would threaten the Tapu Lele quite heavily, but we do have access to that Will-O-Wisp. So I think my first move here will be... I'm quite tempted to just go for the big nuke onto the Arcanine here, because if I can get rid of the Arcanine, at least it makes Celesteela's job slightly easier. But I may be being a bit too premature with just launching that Shattered Psyche off straight away. No, I'm going to do it, because if the Arcanine switches out for something like the Tapu Koko, or even the Porygon 2, it's going to put it in range, especially the Porygon 2, it'll put it in range for a Psychic the next turn. But we do just see a Protect from the Arcanine come out, and I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp onto the Gigalith. Oh, but it avoids. Okay, not the best start to this game. This is going to make things a lot more difficult. So if we definitely see a Heavy Slam here, my Tapu Lele may survive depending on how that Gigalith is trained, but likelihood is it may go down to a Heavy Slam here. We're not going to get as much damage off with this Shattered Psyche, but the other thing that we've got to keep in mind is if Tapu Lele does hang on here, that Arcanine now is in range, potentially from a Psychic. And here we go. Here's the Continental Crush, and this will be into our Arcanine. So we're probably going to lose Arcanine here. If we got the Will-O-Wisp off, we would have been able to survive this, but without that Will-O-Wisp burn, I don't think we've got really a lot of chance. I don't think an Intimidate's going to really make too much difference here. Oh my god, we survive on 2 HP. So Arcanine, clutch survival there. Wow, that is huge, like literally huge. Another option we could have went for there was the Shattered Psyche into the Gigalith, and that potentially might have picked up the KO there, but I think this turn I'll just go for a Psychic into the opposing Arcanine, and yeah, I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp again into the Gigalith slot. It is a bit obvious, but if we get it off, then that'll be ideal. So we see the Tapu Koko switch in for the Arcanine here. We'll take... Sorry guys, I was just getting my lead because my battery is going down on my DS. Gigalith just protects, but we will get a Psychic off onto this Tapu Koko, which is nice. So this is decent enough damage. Yeah, that's really nice damage, and we get a special defense drop as well, so that's pretty handy. So what are we going to do here? Now the thing is, we're very threatened by the Tapu Koko. The Arcanine is definitely in Thunderbolt range, so I think what I'm going to do is just protect my Tapu Lele this turn, and I'm going to switch in. Actually, what I could probably do is switch out, because I want to try and get the terrain back in my favour. So I think what I'll do is switch Tapu Lele for the Celesteela. I can't see an electric type attack onto that slot. Not this turn, when the Arcanine's threatening so heavily with that Will-O-Wisp. And I'm going to switch in my Arcanine for my Garchomp for my Arcanine here, where I think the electric type attack is going to be coming on to. So we'll make the double switch here. Tapu Koko goes for the Thunderbolt into the Garchomp slot, and we see a Heavy Slam into that Celesteela slot. So things working out pretty nicely for us there. The other thing we've got to worry about now is one of two things. This Gigalith could have Wide Guard, and the Arcanine could come in on that Tapu Koko slot. So I think what I'll do, I'm just gonna go for an Earthquake because I might not actually. I'm gonna go for a Poison Jab. I'm gonna be a bit safe. I go for a Poison Jab into that Tapu Koko slot just in case there is a Wide Guard, and just protect my Celesteela, because we may see a Volt Switch into the Celesteela this turn. But then we just see my opponent withdraw the Gigalith into the Porygon 2, so kind of indicating that it hasn't got Wide Guard, but we can't take for granted that it has. It hasn't got it, sorry. So we'll get the Protect Up for Celesteela. We'll see what this Tapu Koko goes for, just a Dazzling Gleam, but because of the Assault Vest we've got, we'll be able to take this quite comfortably. And we'll pick up the KO with this Poison Jab, which is quite nice. We do see that it is Life Orb Tapu Koko as well. And we have got to be very aware that this Porygon 2 did get the special attack boost there. So if it has got the Bolt Beam combination, it is going to still be threatening our Celesteela quite heavily with, you know, electric type attacks. So in comes the Arcanine. And I think what we'll see here is probably that Porygon 2 go for a Trick Room. So I think what I'll do, I can't really do anything to prevent the Trick Room in this situation. We haven't got enough to... the only thing I can try and do potentially is go for a Leech Seed onto the Porygon 2. Hope it doesn't double target into my Celesteela with a Flare Blitz and a Thunderbolt, and switching my Arcanine, getting Intimidate off onto that opposing Arcanine, and try and preserve my Garchomp for when this Trick Room potentially ends. But we might not even see a Trick Room, but that's kind of what I would imagine my opponent will go for here. So the Arcanine just protects, so that's fine. We get the Leech Seed off, so we're either going to see Trick Room or an Ice Beam. And we see the Trick Room, so that's fine. I don't mind that too much, to be honest. Now I'm just going to protect my Celesteela this turn, I think. I could go for a Will-O-Wisp into the Porygon 2 slot. Or I think I might actually... I'm going to switch my Tapu Lele for my Arcanine here. Get rid of that electric terrain, because there's every possibility that Porygon 2 has Thunderbolt, and we don't want to be boosting it any more than we need to be. So let's get that terrain back on our side now. We'll protect from any potential Flare Blitz coming out, but we do just see the switch into the Gigalith here, so not ideal. But we still have the Arcanine in the back to take advantage of that Intimidate if we need to. Let's see what this Porygon 2 goes for. Goes for a Return. Okay. So it might not have Thunderbolt. Tapu Lele taking that quite easily, quite nicely, I should say. That Gigalith has burnt its Z move as well, so that is quite nice. Now this next turn I'm going to kind of prioritise getting a Leech Seed onto this Gigalith. It's just going to make Celesteela's longevity a lot easier if I've got 2 Leech Seeds out at one time. And I'm going to switch in my Garchomp for my Tapu Lele. Yeah. So we'll probably see maybe a Heavy Slam come out from that Gigalith onto that slot, and then an Ice Beam maybe into the Celesteela slot. So here's this Heavy Slam. Do a little bit of rough skin damage as well on the way, which is fine. And we see an Ice Beam into the Celesteela. Doing a lot of damage, isn't it? With that boost. So get the leech seed off onto both Pokemon, so we'll be able to restore all the health lost this turn with those 2 leech seeds, which is really nice. But the main thing that we need to kind of make sure that we're doing is keeping this Garchomp around, so we've got something to deal with that Arcanine. We need to kind of prioritise getting rid of this Porygon too, and once that's down, it'll make our lives a lot easier. So this turn I'm going to go for a Heavy Slam into the Porygon 2. I'm going to switch out my Garchomp into my Arcanine, get an Intimidate off onto that Gigalith. Now we could potentially lose Arcanine here because Rock Slide could come out for the flinch chance. But we just need to try and stall out the Trick Room at this point. And Arcanine, I feel, probably one of the better things to kind of sack if we sack anything. Oh, this is so unfortunate for my opponent. So it does go for the Rock Slide, but Arcanine avoids. So we get really lucky there. And another Ice Beam from this Porygon 2. But this time into that Garchomp slot. So we get the Heavy Slam. No flinch from our Celesteela. It is going to do some nice damage to that Porygon 2. And we'll recover all that health back again through this Leech Seed. Now this turn, because this is the last turn of Trick Room, this Porygon 2 is really forced to go for a recover here. Unless it is just going to go down. So we're pretty free to go for a Heavy Slam into the Gigalith slot. And I'm going to bring in my Tapu Lele here. Yeah, I'm going to bring in the Tapu Lele. Because then we threaten with the Psychic if we need to. And we've got the Taunt to shut down that Porygon 2 to get another Trick Room up. So we just see a Rock Slide come out from this Gigalith. Yeah, doing not bad damage, and there's the recover from that Porygon 2. So we'll recover all of that health back. We'll get the Heavy Slam off, so again no flinches here, which is really nice. And do a good chunk to that Gigalith. So the Trick Room should end this turn. Right, so sorry guys, this is taking forever. All these animations, all the Leech Seed, the sand damage, chipping everything. Animations take forever sometimes. We'll get there. And there's the Trick Room ending. So, brilliant. Now, we could potentially Psychic and just Heavy Slam into the Porygon 2. That'll probably be enough to take it down, to be honest. So I'm just going to do that. I'm not even going to mess around with the Taunt, because if there's any switch out to the Arcanine, but we're not going to see that, so we'll get the Psychic. Just misses out on the KO, and the Heavy Slam will pick up the KO. We will get a Beast Boost, and this is now looking like we'll be able to take this game. So we'll probably see a Heavy Slam from this Gigalith, but just a Rock Slide. So Lele might actually pull through. Yeah, we just about survive, and the Sandstorm stops there. Oh, terrible, terrible. As my opponent just dropped off there. Hopefully it's not us. I think my internet's fine tonight, so cover that little bit of Leech Seed back, and yeah, it wasn't us, so a bit unfortunate end to the battle, but at that point, the Porygon 2 going down, we definitely won that. The Gigalith had like one turn left in its tank, and then we had the Garchomp in the back, and the Arcanine as well to just deal with the opposing Arcanine, so we would have been able to take that game home. But good games to my opponent there, a bit unfortunate that we had the dropout, and that will take us over the 1700 mark. which is pretty nice. So let's go for our last game of the day, Battle Royale music, and finish off with a bang, guys. So it was a really nice game, that one. I think it really demonstrated how good the team is. It kind of just being able to maneuver around very well within itself and shut down opposing Pokemon. And I think this is a very good friend of mine. I think this is Matthew King. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I will have to check after this, but if it is, good luck to Matthew. He's an absolutely great guy, and he is rocking a very interesting team here, so this should be a lot of fun. His team he is running is Tapu Koko, Sableye, Alolan Muck, Kartana, Gyarados, and Garchomp. And I'm super sorry, guys, my voice is like deteriorating as the video is going on. Damn these pesky flowers, eh, and their pollen. So what are we going to do here? Let's think. Sableye is going to be a bit of an issue, but we do have the Tapu Lele. Arcanine's going to be really good here. We just need to be careful for that Garchomp Gyarados combination. So I'm going to lead that again. We've got the Will-O-Wisp for the Muck, potentially the Gyarados, Garchomp. Puts a lot of pressure onto the Kartana. I think I might just go with the same four again, to be honest. Garchomp and Celesteela, and we'll lock in with those four. The solid four, the magnificent four. And we'll see how we get on in this game. Hopefully we finish off with a big win, and this would be great, wouldn't it, guys? Like I say, I've really enjoyed using this team, and I hope you guys have enjoyed kind of the last couple of weeks me playing it. I know a lot of YouTube creators have been using the team or a similar Driblim Lele team online, but I hope there's some little twists in the team that I've put on it myself, and I hope you have enjoyed at least the content that we've been playing with it. So we see my opponent lead off with Kartana and Sableye. We will get the Intimidate off onto it. We're preventing that Sableye from using any of its prankster abilities, and we're putting a lot of pressure onto that Kartana. Now, I would imagine that Kartana is probably just going to switch out, but there's every chance it might be a sashed Kartana, and we may see the Kartana switch out for Tapu Koko, and that Sableye go for some sort of priority attack. But I think what I'm going to do is just go for a Moonblast. We're not threatened because of that Intimidate from a KO onto the Kartana from the Smart Strike. So I'm quite free here just to not really take any big risks. Just go for a Flare Blitz to that slot and the Moonblast into the Sableye, which should pick up the KO. So we do see that Tapu Koko come in here. We are potentially going to see a Fake Out from that Sableye to take advantage of the Electric Terrain now that the the Psychic Terrain's gone. So we see the Fake Out into the Arcanine slot, but we are able to get that Moonblast into the Sableye and take it out of the game. So we'll probably see the Kartana come back in here. Now it's not intimidated, it will be putting a lot of pressure onto the Tapu Lele, but it is the Gyarados. Very interesting. Now, is this Gyarados just going to go for a... The thing is, what we don't want to do is lose the Arcanine here. Now, it's very tempting for me to go for a Will-O-Wisp onto that Gyarados. But if I lose the Gyarados, I lose a lot of ability to take care of that Kartana. We still have the Celesteela in the back though, so it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. It's really more important to get rid of the Tapu Koko. I'm going to go for a Shattered Psyche into that slot, and I am going to go for the Will-O-Wisp into that Gyarados slot. I'm going to go for it. So we see a Volt Switch into the Lele, doing really good damage, showing that it is Life Orbs, and in comes that Kartana. So let's hope we don't see Waterium Z Hydro Vortex from that Gyarados, because that'll be the end of us. But we just see a Waterfall, and it's into the Tapu Lele here. We do just survive, get the Will-O-Wisp off, and we will get that big Z move. So this should do some really good damage, as long as we're not flinched here. No flinch, and here comes the Shattered Psyche. I know we're not on Psychic Terrain, But they should still be doing some very good damage to this Kartana, and that's the main thing here. We've neutered that Gyarados with the Will-O-Wisp, and Tapu Lele there, just showing how good that bulk is there, coming in handy. The EV spread surviving just nicely that waterfall from the Gyarados. Boom, taking the Kartana down to its sash. So yeah, revealing sash there. So what I'm going to do here is bring in my Celesteela, and I'm just actually no, what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch my Garchomp into my Tapu Lele, because if that Kartana goes for a Smart Strike onto that slot, then it's going to get KO'd by the Rough Skin damage. And I'm going to switch my Arcanine out for my Celesteela. So I've got that Intimidate to cycle a bit later on and just keep Arcanine around, because if we can keep Arcanine healthy, then we can take advantage of potentially the Snarls if we need to against that Tapu Koko, etc, etc. But we just see a Detect from this Kartana. We'll probably see a Waterfall from the Gyarados or a Dragon Dance maybe, but it is that Rotarian Z. The Hydro Vortex is coming out from the Gyarados. It's probably targeting down the Arcanine slot, but it may be targeting down the Gyarados slot to potentially pick up a KO onto that Tapu Lele that was obviously maybe protecting. But no, it is into the Celesteela, so we should be able to take this quite comfortably here. Yeah, and because of that burn onto the Gyarados, we're able to take that very nicely. Now, I don't want to take any unnecessary damage onto my Garchomp, because I need that for the Tapu Koko. So I'm going to switch Garchomp out, back into my Arcanine, and I'm going to go for a... Tempted to go for a Heavy Slam into the Kartana slot, but I should really try and get a Leech Seed off into the Gyarados, really start chipping it down a bit more, because we don't want to just leave it sitting on the field allowing it just to waterfall. There's every chance one of these turns it could go for a Dragon Dance if it has it, so something we need to be aware of. We'll get the Arcanine in, get the Intimidate off onto both the Kartana and the Gyarados, reduce that attack stat down a little bit further, and then comes a Sacred Sword into the Celesteela slot and an Ice Fang from the Gyarados. So it was a good job we actually switched there. Arcanine able to take that Ice Fang very nicely, and we get the Leech Seed off onto the Gyarados, so we'll be able to heal up a bit of damage. Now this next turn, what I'm going to do is go for a Heavy Slam into the Gyarados slot and just go for a Snarl with my Arcanine. If that Kartana doesn't protect, the Snarl should be enough to take it down. If the Tapu Koko comes in, we'll be lowering that special attack stat, and I imagine the Gyarados is probably the one Pokemon that wants to switch out at this point to cycle those Intimidates, get rid of the Leech Seed, and just reset its attack stat from those Intimidates that we've put onto it. So if we can catch a Tapu Koko, we're not going to, unfortunately, but we just see the Kartana protect here. Waterfall come out into the Arcanine, but we're quite happy to take that, and just a Snarl. It's not going to really be doing very much damage, it's just chipping at this point. And we'll get a Heavy Slam off into the Gyarados. Doing, yeah, it's alright, respectable enough damage. But the main thing is we're recovering a bit more health back every turn with this Celesteela. And we'll see. And this Gyarados, if it sticks around for this next turn, it will go down to the burn and the Leech Seed damage. So we can concentrate everything into that Kartana slot. But I'd imagine my opponent will probably double target into the Arcanine slot with a Sacred Sword and a Waterfall to try and take it down. So I'm just going to Flamethrower into that Kartana slot with my Celesteela to avoid losing it. See the Sacred Sword into the Arcanine, there's a Waterfall and an Ice Fang, yeah, into that slot as well. So we'll be able to take that Kartana down And like I say, that Gyarados should go down now to Leech Seed and burn damage, so we're just left with that Tapu Koko. And we get a Beast Boost. And we should be nearly on full health with our Celesteela. And in true fashion and style, I think I might try and end this game with Celesteela. It's been the star of the show a little bit, this game, so let's see if the EVs that I've done come into fruition. Tapu Koko has taken a little bit of Life Orb chip damage, so I think what I'll do, switch in the Tapu Lele for the Arcanine, get rid of the Electric Terrain. That means we should be able to take a Life Orb Thunderbolt comfortably with our Celesteela, and because of the +1 that we've got, we should be able to pick up the one-hit KO on to that Tapu Koko, especially after another round of Life Orb damage as well. So in comes that Tapu Koko, and let's put our plan, a devious little plan, into motion. So we'll switch out this Arcanine, get rid of the Electric Terrain, and we will see the magnificent Fantastic Four get our second win of the day, hopefully. So yeah, Arcanine switching out, and we're just showboating a bit now, so we should stop showing off a little bit. Get the Psychic Terrain up, and let's see, is this Thunderbolt into the... oh, it's into the Arcanine slot, so expecting the Protect from the Celesteela here, and we will get the Heavy Slam off, and this should be game. Excellent, like Mr. Burns would say. But very good game to Matthew. As I say before, he is an absolute top guy. He's brilliant, and does a lot of events down in Orpington, organising and hosting them. So he puts in a lot of work for the community, and he's a very good friend and a player. So it's a pleasure to have you on the channel, Matthew. It'd be great to have you on again in the future. And that's it, guys. So a nice way to end the episode with the team. I just apologise again for my croaky, nasally voice. I blame the outside the flowers. It's that time of year. It's not normally this bad though, I promise. But yeah, nice way to end the episode with the team, really showing how solid it is at times, and to just really manoeuvre around. Like I was saying before we started that game, it just shows how well the synergy is between all 4 of those Pokemon, and that's what I really like about those 4 Pokemon. And I think that is the potential. It has the potential to be a very successful team. It's just finding the right 2 for those last 2 slots to kind of complement it. Now I've played Porygon 2 Gigalith with this team, and that's done very well. I played the Sao Paulo Challenge with that 6, and that did really well. But then I just felt that I didn't need the Trick Room mod or the Gigalith in the team. There was a lot of things that I was struggling with, so that's why I wanted to try out the Drift Blim, and then the Snorlax as well as something I wanted to try out, and it's really good trying them out, but I just don't think it's quite there yet. So we'll move on. We might even come back at one point to this kind of team and see how we're getting on with it. But I feel like this is the solid team of the season that I want to try and push through to see how far we can take it and see where it ends up anyway. So it'll be really interesting. But guys, I really hope you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have, like always, leave a like on the video. It's massively appreciated. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, do subscribe to the channel. You'll get all the daily updates for when the School of Hard Knocks comes out, the QR code series when we have those, and the team review episodes as well. So do that. It's just awesome, and you guys are awesome as well. So I have some extra news as well just to finish off before we go away for the weekend. We'll be back on Monday with a brand new team, and it's very interesting. And Jonathan Ross. It's very interesting, and I'll give a little quack hint out to what it might be revolving around. So it'll be definitely stick around and check that out on Monday, because it's a very interesting build I've put together, and hopefully it works. Hopefully it does. But what we're going to do is play that just for next week. So it'll be a little intermission team just to play for next week. It'll be interesting. We'll do a team review episode like we always do on the teams that we feature on the channel, and then the following week after that, we're either going to have one of 2 options. We're going to have Mr. Ben Kiriaki on and find out how he got on in Brazil this weekend, today and tomorrow. on Sunday. Or we're going to have another very close friend of mine, Terence Dre, who he's not such a well-known player in the community, but he has been playing some very interesting teams of late, and he's known for one very interesting team in 2013, I think it was. So we will feature him and his team, or we'll have Mr. Kiriakou back on, depending how he does and depending how he feels after the tournament. So I will keep you up to date with how things are going with that, and we have a special treat for you next Friday. So I'm not going to let anything out the bag yet, but do stay tuned for something special next Friday, guys. So I'm going to let you go away anyway. I'm just waffling on here, and it's not doing your ears any good with my voice or my voice any good either. So guys, thanks so much for watching as always. I hope you really have an amazing weekend, whatever you're doing. There is I think a stream being set up for the Sao Paulo International Championships. If I can find a link to it, I will link it in the description, but as at the moment I don't know what is happening with that. So if you can catch it, check it out. If not, we'll do a quick recap of how the event went on Monday either way, and just have a look at some of the teams from that before we kick into the new team and start that episode. So guys, thanks so much again, and you go away, have an amazing weekend. Whatever you're doing with yourselves, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and just have a lot of fun. Hope it's sunny wherever you are, and you enjoy the weekend. So until Monday, guys, you take care of yourselves, and until then, bye bye.